North Carolina state statutes require the county function of emergency management to be responsible for the coordination of resources and incident management. Resources to manage incidences are shared via mutual aid agreements between the county and its municipalities, as well as the state of North Carolina and each county. However, due to recent annexations by municipalities into adjacent counties, the Board of Commissioners recently approved mutual aid agreements between Wake County and several surrounding counties. These agreements clarify roles and responsibilities between and among affected counties. Joining us today to talk about these agreements is Josh Creighton, Director of Wake County Emergency Management. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
Josh, first, why are mutual aid agreements needed?
Mutual aid agreements are very purposeful in their ability to bring additional resources to bear to an incident. Not every jurisdiction can prepare for the consequences of a significant event. If we have something catastrophic, we do not have the resources to manage that incident. What the mutual aid agreements do is allows us to share resource amongst other jurisdictions, whether it be equipment or staffing or whatever the case may be. We can bring those resources to Wake County, but also if another county is impacted, we could take resources from Wake County and share it with those other jurisdictions.
What types of incidences cause these agreements between the counties to be necessary?
They can vary. It all depends on the scope and the intensity of the incident. We can bring about hurricanes, or when hurricanes are brought about, that can be an instance where we would activate mutual aid. We have sent teams out to the coast on several occasions during hurricanes. We have activated mutual aid over county lines for smaller scale incidents like hazardous materials incidents, where we go back and forth over county lines at a minimal level and small groups of resources, but nonetheless those resources are shared amongst the jurisdictions.
Is this the first of its kind to have these types of mutual aid agreements?
No, not exactly. We've had mutual aid agreements in existence for over a decade now. And the way it had worked before is every county in North Carolina signed a mutual aid agreement with the state. The state was the intermediate between mutual aid agreement and sharing of resources amongst counties. So Wake County, if they needed resources, they would call the state would find those resources among other counties, and then those counties, with their agreement with the state, would come to Wake County. And it took time to do that. So that's why we decided to go ahead and engage in these direct mutual aid agreements with all our contiguous counties.
And what do these agreements change?
The agreements change the ability to activate those mutual aid resources. Rather than going through the state, we can go directly to the other county or the other jurisdiction and activate those mutual aid resources. And the way we set it up is Wake County has signed an agreement with every municipality in Wake County. Each of our contiguous counties have signed agreements with their municipalities, and by default they are signatories to our joint mutual aid agreements from county to county. We're all still signatories to the state mutual aid agreement, so even though these new agreements are only our contiguous counties, we can still send resources across the state. And it just so happens that North Carolina is one of 49 states that is a signatory to the Emergency Management Compact, which says you share resources from state to state. So by default, we're a signatory to the federal mutual aid agreement called EMAC.
Josh, what has been the response from the partners in surrounding counties?
Both our municipalities and our surrounding counties have been very excited about this. Not only does it lessen the paperwork and the time required to do this, but the resources can come to bear a lot faster. And not only that, it has allowed the opportunity or provided the opportunity for jurisdictions to work more closely on a day-to-day basis in planning for these type of events, knowing that there will be direct mutual aid agreements in place or direct mutual aid response in place.
How will these mutual aid agreements benefit the citizens of Wake County?
It'll bring resources to bear much quicker. Also at the same time, each jurisdiction will not have to make the investment to build up the robustness of their particular public safety agencies, because they can rely on their neighboring jurisdictions to bring those resources in.
And what will make these agreements successful as we move down the road?
Again, it's working with each other. opening up that door, knowing that the mutual aid agreements exist and knowing that neighboring jurisdictions will most definitely be working together, it will prompt them to work together more and plan more on a regular basis. A lot of the jurisdictions that have been impacted by this, the examples are Cary has annexed into Chatham County, Raleigh has annexed into Durham County, Wake Forest into Granville County, and Clayton into Wake County, and also Anger into Wake County. So a lot of those issues, whether it's fire services or law enforcement, exist at the municipal level, whereas you mentioned earlier, emergency management is a county level function. So it made it a little bit confusing, and this will alleviate that confusion.
Okay, Josh Creighton, Director of Wake County Emergency Management, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.